Module 5, De-escalating, language and strategies for de-escalating angry people. Sometimes clients will become frustrated or angry before you meet them. Other times, they may become angry while you are doing a procedure or task with them. Sometimes a person's anger is unexpected. Other times, you can prepare yourself ahead of time because their anger is expected. Perhaps you know that they generally react with anger, or perhaps you have to pass on information that you know is likely to make them unhappy or angry. Sometimes your interactions with angry people will happen face to face, but other times they may happen over the phone, such as when you have to call a family member with unwelcome information. In this video, I want to talk through the language that you might use to do each of the following. Greet yourself and explain why you are there and why you are calling or why you are calling. Use body language that conveys confidence, respect, and safety. Use a vocal tone that conveys confidence, respect, and safety. Ask, listen, and probe. Paraphrase, emphasize, offer something, information, help, reassurance, next steps. Greet, introduce self, and explain purpose. In previous modules, we've talked about the importance of greeting the client, saying who you are, and explaining why you're there. For instance, you might say, "Hi Johnny, I'm Sarah, and I'll be looking after you today. I'm just checking in to see how you're doing." Or, "Hello Mrs. Singh, I'm Sarah. I saw the call bell blinking." If you are making a phone call, it is also important to greet, say who you are, and why you are calling right from the beginning. When you call a number and someone picks up, you might say, "Hello, I'm calling for Mrs. Shu." "Hello, could I speak with Mrs. Shu?" Once you have the right person on the phone, you need to say who you are and where you're calling from. "Hello, Mrs. Shu. This is Sarah from Unit 23 at the Royal Alec." You need to say what the purpose of your call is. "I'm calling to let you know that." "I'm calling because." "I'm calling about." "I'm calling to let you know that Johnny fell today." "I'm calling because your mother has had a fall and is being taken to emergency." "I'm calling about our visitor policy. Unfortunately, Johnny is only allowed to have one designated visitor." Make sure your body language conveys confidence, respect, and safety. Once you realize that a person you are talking to is frustrated, upset, or angry, you might start to feel stressed out and upset yourself. It's important to take a second to think about the messages that your body and voice are conveying. If you're interacting in person, there are some things to consider about your body language. Do not move in too close to the person. That can be perceived as threatening. If you are worried about possible violence, then stay at least a leg length away. Try not to stand directly in front of or tower over the person. Stand to one side and keep your hands in sight and relaxed. Don't stand with your hands on your hips or hands crossed. Try to give off relaxed signals. Look confident and interested in what they have to say. Make eye contact and nod that you are really listening. Make sure your voice conveys confidence, respect, and safety. When we get stressed, our voices can get higher or more shrill, and we tend to talk faster. If someone is talking loudly at us, we tend to raise our voices and talk louder as well. But if we sound angry, the people we talk to will often feel less safe. If we sound afraid or insecure, they may lose confidence in our abilities. This might escalate their reaction. Instead, take a moment to focus yourself. Take a breath. Remember to talk calmly and quietly. Speak slowly and at a lower pitch. Ask questions to find out what the person's key concern is. This shows that you are taking their concern seriously and may de-escalate their anger. Use open-ended questions like the following. "How's it going? Can you tell me what's going on? Could you explain what happened? I'm just checking in to see how you're doing. Are you okay? Tell me what's wrong. Help me understand what's happened." Listen carefully to what they have to say. Probe and ask for more details. Could you elaborate? Want to tell me about it? Why don't you tell me about your hip? What's going on there? How long has it been like that? Paraphrase and restate what you understand to be the person's main concern. This shows the person that you really listened. It relieves anxiety that no one knows what they are concerned about. Let me see if I've understood correctly. You're worried about your mother's care if you can't be there to feed her every day. Is that right? So let me get this straight. You're telling me that your mother needs assistance when eating, and you are the only one who has been providing that assistance. If you are not there, you are not sure she'll be able to eat. Did I get that right? So what I hear from you is your mother needs assistance when eating, and you've been providing that assistance over the last few months. You are worried that when visitors are restricted, she won't be able to eat. Did I catch everything? Emphasize. Recognize and validate the emotions that they are feeling. It sounds like you're really worried. I can see that you're a little upset, and that makes perfect sense. I understand that these long waits are very frustrating. I understand why you're so frustrated. That must be very scary. I get that. I know that you're angry. Apologize. Apologizing doesn't always mean that you are admitting that you have done something wrong, although sometimes it does mean that. Very often, though, especially in Canada, an apology means that you regret and feel badly about a situation. I'm sorry you had to wait for so long. I'm sorry you've had to go through this. I'm sorry it was so painful. I'm sorry it took so long. I know you're in pain, and for that I apologize. I'm so sorry. These kinds of apologies are a way of expressing concern for someone. They recognize the hardship or inconvenience or difficulty that the other person is experiencing. Offer something: information, help, next steps. The do this, not that video you watched mentioned using the philosophy of yes when possible. If a person who is angry asks for something and you can possibly say yes, then say yes, for sure. We can do that. Give you some time to read the other options on this slide here. Here's some more options of things that you could say. Do you want to? Would you like me to? Would it help if I explain why? I'll talk to and get back to you tomorrow. If you can't give the person exactly what they're asking for, is there something else you can offer them to demonstrate your goodwill? It may be a small thing, like a glass of water or a warm blanket. Or perhaps you can offer to find out about something and get back to them. Can you give them any ideas about the situation? Remember that people in healthcare situations often feel like they have no control. Offering details and information helps people feel like they are in the loop. It shows goodwill, that you are not hiding anything. However, you need to be careful to ensure client privacy. What is the next step? What can they expect? Telling the angry person what you are going to do next, even if it's a small thing, can help de-escalate a situation. Let's practice.